I'm Jordan,
And I'm Wyman.
and you're watching Speedway Pulse Media.
Are things working?
Hey James,
How's it going?
good. How's it going?
Not too bad. How about you guys?
Going
Good.
pretty
How's
good.
good? Well, we want to thank you for coming on and doing an interview with us. We really appreciate it, and we think that you can tell us some cool stuff about your career and maybe some insights you got, because we know you've raced kind of a little bit of everything.
I've tried to. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the invite. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and get started here. What really got you into motorsports and racing?
I'd have to say that would be through my dad. So he started racing motorcycles when he was like in his later teens, and then so he did like lots of road racing. But he got quite hurt doing it, so he broke a lot of bones in the
Yeah.
process. And then then he started having kids. So my mom kind of convinced him to do something relatively safer. So we started racing cars.
Cars.
Yeah. So then I grew up watching him race cars, and he put me in like the little plastic go-karts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the little juice box.
Exactly. So we did like the double battery mod on that, like two full-size car batteries, like roasted the tires off of that. And he's like, "All right, you probably need something a little quicker."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And kind of history from there. Moving on to you've done IMSA, got to do some Indy Lights, even a NASCAR. You've gone all over the world and raced.
Yeah.
Maybe talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah. So basically the kind of like the long time goal has been to do the 24 hours Le Mans. And
Right.
yeah, the best kind of path for me to do that was in a prototype. So I had lots of prototype experience here in the States in IMSA and the LMPC car. So that was a great platform for that. And then then I had the chance to run the LMP2 car over here, and we were able to win, or actually my teammate was able to win the entry through IMSA, the Truman Aiken Award. So that was a possibility in 19, and then that unfortunately kind of fell through. And then I ended up running European Le Mans series that year. So kind of the goal again was to get to Le Mans because the team I was running with usually ran one or two cars in Le Mans. So yeah, so that same season I had the chance to run Asian Le Mans series with the target of winning the entry, which we did. We won the series by 1 point, and then everything was looking good for Le Mans. And then then the whole world kind of shut down. So
Everything kind
put
of
put an end to that. And they still ran the event, so credit to them on that. But there was no like test days, there was no parade, like it was kind of behind closed doors. So I kind of figured if it was my like only opportunity to do it, I wanted it to be the full experience, like bring family and friends and all that stuff.
Yeah, and Lamont's such a special one, and even so behind closed doors, still be a fun one to do. But is that still on your list? Still want to do it again?
Absolutely. It's still at the top of the list. So in 2019 I had the chance to like test with the team. So I did basically like one fuel stint, so about 45 minutes in the car, and it was
I
incredible.
bet that was a blast getting to go down Mulsanne.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. Like getting to draft.
Probably one of the highlights of your career, I bet.
Yeah, trying to wipe some tears down the back straight, like drafting other P2 cars. Now it was amazing, but then equally painful to kind of step out of the car because I did the first session of the day, and they're like, no matter what, do not crash, do not take any risk. Like you are just here to experience it. Like don't take any risk. So it was really hard to kind of dial back and not push, but then kind of take another step back and just watch it from there. But it just motivates, right, to try to get back somehow.
Right. Which, like you say, we've just about everyone that we've interviewed has always been the common thing of my dad raced, so I'm in the racing. Which that's the same with me. I used to race dirt go-karts before I didn't have much time to do it. And my dad grew up racing them as well. And he was like, well, time to throw you in one. So
Yeah. Did he? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I got to do a little bit of, but kind of common thing. We've all gotten to do some go karts. I got to do a little bit like the road course was. I didn't make it, something like SCUSA or something though. But understand, how you want to set one up and different tracks and stuff. So kind of a thing. Me and him both know the go karts, just two different ones.
Yeah. No, it's definitely the place to start. I did lots of karting, and it's super competitive and just a really raw kind of motorsport. So,
and we'll go ahead and get to question number 2 here, which you've already mentioned a little bit about the Asian Le Mans series and everything. And we all know as drivers, wins are big, but championships are bigger. So how big was that championship for you in your career?
Yeah, I mean that was for me personally like the stepping stone before achieving the ultimate goal. Like the goal of that championship was to win the entry for Le Mans, and we got it. And it was with the G Drive program at the time, so there's kind of a lot of pressure behind that to do well. So yeah, it was very close, and like with that series, you don't really get any testing. So those were all tracks that I had never been to. My teammate had also never been to the track, so there was a lot of pressure during the weekends. But yeah, everyone did an awesome job and got it done. And yeah, it's just kind of the way it unfolded. Like the plan was to get to Le Mans, and it just didn't happen that way.
Right,
And
which, like you say, all the teams and stuff. Joey Logano said it best. It's not about everything that the driver does. It's about how the team sets up a car, and everybody's got to put their heart and desire into it to make it happen.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like it's so close in the series. Like in any racing, it's so close. You're looking for tiny, tiny margins, and everything has to work perfectly. Everyone has to be on their best performance. It's definitely a team sport. Like there's no question about that. You hand the best driver the worst car and it's not going to happen. Like everything has to be perfect.
Right.
And you race against some really top class drivers in Asian Le Mans series from all over Europe and Asia. That's a series that brings a lot of top class teams and drivers like United. G Drive was a big one. Um, yeah, there was a lot of big names I remember that year.
Yeah, we
They
were
even had
racing.
Rick
Yeah, it
Ware
was.
come that year.
Yeah, exactly. They had Van Gisberg for one of the rounds in
Yeah, they had
Australia.
Van Gisbergen. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a beast. He was super, super quick.
How was maybe the prototype set up a little different from those style tracks in Asia, maybe to Europe that you raced?
Honestly, surprisingly similar.
Oh,
Like
really?
they were really smooth. Just because I think they have like more consistent weather. Like the track doesn't really suffer too much, but like a lot of the Midwest tracks up by me in Wisconsin, like they definitely feel the weather and kind of change over
Oh
time,
yeah.
get a little more bumpy. But no, they were really smooth. The main difference is just that it was insanely hot, like at all
Yeah.
the tracks. Like in 2020, it was during that massive fire that they had. So like it was 30-mile-an-hour winds and like
Oh
upper
wow.
90s, almost 100 degrees every day. It
I bet
was
Oh,
that's hard.
wow.
That's hard to drive a car when you got 30-mile-an-hour winds.
yeah,
Hail, yeah, wind wrong way can cause some issues there.
exactly. So it was tough, super hot in the car, but we made it work.
Right. You mentioned Le Mans and everything racing there. So obviously we know you enjoyed it. We enjoy watching Le Mans on TV, and we want to get over there. Wyman wants to flag it
Yeah,
because he's SCCA
yeah,
flagger.
I corner marshal a good many races. I do the Rolex. I do
Oh,
Petit.
nice. I didn't know that.
I'm
Okay.
trying to do Sebring next year. That's one that's on my list of races I want to do. But I probably have flagged for you. I think I did. You were there in 23 at Daytona, right? In the P3.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I flagged that one.
Yeah, the
I was
car got
at
a little
turn
hot
four.
about halfway
Yeah,
through. Lots
yeah,
of
I was at
fire.
turn. Let's see, last 2 years I've done turn four. So yeah, I was at four,
Nice.
and that's always fun. And that was a great way to keep getting involved with it, and it's super fun.
Yeah, you think you'll do it again this year?
Yeah, I'm looking at definitely doing some more this year. Where we live, I got Daytona, Sebring's fairly close. Then my favorite's Road Atlanta.
Oh yeah, that's an awesome track.
That's a fun track.
Super fast, pretty scary at night, but it's
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have a great experience with it at night this year. I had where Corey Lewis wrecked in the Mustang that was right in front of me.
yeah. Wow, that was insane.
And that I really don't know how he got there. I was on blue flag, and so I was seeing them coming, and he was in a pack of 5, 6 cars. So I think he either got bumped or went wide, and then he just went across track, and he had no headlights on, and no one could
Yeah,
see him coming up the hill.
yeah, it was weird that it like completely lost power.
That was
Like there
what
was
really
no
shocked
headlights,
me.
couldn't cycle it or anything. It's just
Yeah.
very unfortunate location
Yeah,
to
and
not
turn
have
five is
lights.
probably one of the toughest corners on that track. And five
Yeah.
is really my favorite corner there because if you work the Alpha station at the top of the hill there, you can see them coming down from turn
Oh, down
one
the S's.
all the way down. That's the best
Oh,
corner I think to work there.
yeah. Oh, that's super, super cool. Or what about Ranger with no headlights?
Oh, that was insane too. I couldn't believe.
Yeah.
I figured they were gonna penalize him at first because you got to have one headlight, one tail light. I
Yeah, then
figured
it would like flicker for a
it
little
was
bit, like, all
flickering,
right,
and
that technically counts. Like,
Because he
Yeah.
went by with no headlight. We were kind of trying to. All the stations were calling it, and control was kind of. I think it came on right at the last second, or control would had him parked because they got him earlier in the race. There was some kind of, I think, with the torque sensors or something. I remember, I think within the first, what was it, 20 minutes or something in the
Yeah, it
race?
was real early.
yeah, he's a beast.
He's gonna do good at Acura, I think, this year coming up.
I think so too.
Another one we had for you was your time here at or been at HSR so far. So how's that been for you?
It's been a lot of fun. It's about yeah, really good time. So I started doing a couple like one-off events in 21, but then had the opportunity in 2022 to do a full series, or full season, I should say, in the LMPC car. So yeah, it's just that particular car I cannot seem to escape. No matter where I go, I find an LMPC car somewhere, which I'm totally okay with. It's
Those
an
were
absolute
great cars.
monster.
I remember those.
Oh
I
yeah,
wish they still brought them back, but it's awesome seeing people. That's one thing I like about HSR and even like SCCA people. You got the old IMSA cars in it. There's a where I live. There's a guy you might know him named Jacek Muka.
oh I
He's
know
got the
Yasik. He's got the
oh yeah, he's
DPIs.
got the
Yeah,
Cadillac, and he comes by, and I see him all the time. That's a cool guy right there, Jacek.
absolutely. Yeah, I got to work with him quite a bit.
He's got I think a couple of those
Yeah,
Cadillacs,
he's got a few of
He
those.
might have three of them.
three of them.
Yeah, he's got two JDC cars and then the Wayne Taylor car.
How about that? Yeah, and
Mm.
that's super awesome. Still see them things running.
Now, have you got to drive for him some or?
I did a couple tests with him. Yeah, it was awesome. They're yeah, they're really really quick, and it's not like super far off from a P2 car. It's just like a very torquey, refined P2 car.
Interesting.
How does the maybe compared to the P3 that you've been driving a lot this year?
Um, they're again, it's pretty similar. Like the
Similar?
driving style's the same, but just like the raw pace. Like the DPI has
Yeah.
way more power. Like the P3 has like 450 horsepower,
Horsepower.
where Yasik likes to sprinkle a little extra magic on his cars. So his had like I think like upper 600s, I think.
Oh
like
wow!
almost
Oh, wow.
700. Yeah, so it was
Yeah, he gets around. I see him
yeah.
like the HSR. I like to look at the entries, see who's all entered, and he don't miss one of them, much of them.
No, he is dedicated to the craft, that's for sure.
And he's a dang good driver at what he does.
Yeah, he still
They
rips.
had to pull him. I was a marshal, and one of them he's doing. You might heard track Roebling Road.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they had to pull him in because he had the car too much over the sound limit.
Oh yeah.
And oh man, I wish you could have seen him the fit he pitched.
I believe it. I believe
Yeah.
it. Oh, that's hilarious.
And you got a great co-driver this year, Alexander Kariba. How's that been for you this year?
That was a blast, man. So we basically met each other like sim racing at a event at what was it in Indianapolis
What's
at PRI, and yeah, so we are doing some like sim coaching, and then hopped on the sim, did a bunch of races, and uh, he had done prototype challenge in IMSA the year before, and had some sponsorship to do VP challenge this year, but just not quite enough to make it fully come to fruition, and I had the opportunity to actually like buy part of the P3 car last year. So I was a partial car owner, and he had a little bit of sponsorship, and we're like, hey, how about we just go try to dominate the series and have some fun?
Y'all had some good success this year.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, but it didn't.
Are y'all gonna do Sebring in a few weeks?
It's a bit on the fence. So, yeah, it's kind of a long story, but we were kind of hoping that IMSA would get more involved with the series and kind of make it more like the old prototype challenge. But kind of the plan for next season is to combine all the prototypes into one group. So instead of just being P3 only and more of a spec class, it's going to be all the classes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would kind of put some people with really high powered cars in y'all's group.
Exactly.
I know like Guy Cosmo and them run the old Acura DPI. So that
it's great news for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that make it really exciting for them. More cars for them to pass.
Exactly. So yeah, we're still trying to figure out what to do. Hopefully, still try to do it next year. But part of the issue too was there was like some gray area about how they do the driver ranking. So it just said pro-am in the requirements. So it depending how like what series you look at. In some series, a silver is an am. like a bronze and a silver should be an AM,
Yeah.
and a gold or a platinum should be a pro.
Pro.
Um, but there was just some gray area for
Sure.
us. So we're like, hey, can we be a pro am? They're like,
Yeah.
sure, no problem. Like, you sure you're sure?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we got through a couple races. Like, we don't know if the other competitors like your driver lineup. I'm like, I believe it, but that's not our problem. You said yes. You said you were sure. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, but it hasn't been easy. Like, we had a really close race at Sebring against Kenton and John Field. That one was super close. And then
Daytona, y'all had a really tough one. Y'all had
yeah,
the car was kind of going in and out of gear at some points. I think I read.
yeah, it got stuck in sixth gear. So at
Oh,
the
wow.
start, it happened. So he was in sixth gear for like the first half a lap, and then he said it was like some switch on the dash, like the throttle map switch or something was in between, and that fixed it. And then I hopped in for my stint. That didn't fix it. Like, I had the exact same problem. I did every switch, everything to try to fix it. So yeah, I lost. I think we had a 30-second lead. We lost like 20 seconds in 3 laps.
Oh, wow.
Like the first, basically in through turn 1, it was in sixth gear. Through 3, it was in sixth gear, and then I'd get like a couple downshifts for 5, but it was like, yeah, it wasn't looking good. And then I get like a couple downshifts, and it worked. Like, most problems typically don't fix themselves on track, but this is one of the ones that actually did.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
And like I said, they're endurance races in a sense, so you get a little bit of time, but they're not as long as compared to some. So there's really not a whole lot of time to fix a lot of issues you get.
Yeah, exactly. You can't like box early and like go off strategy or something. Like, you get one stop. So if you don't fix it during the stop, it's game over. But yeah, it's been a really fun program with Wolf Motorsports. So yeah, I've known the team owner Bart since I was a little kid, and been watching him race, and he's been a good friend. So to put a whole program together and go win some races was.
And I've seen y'all do it. Y'all testing at Road America just about every week.
Yeah,
you probably have about most laps of anyone at Road America.
Yeah, I don't know the grand total, but I feel like I got to be up there. Maybe top 10.
Just about everything there. Indy Lights, NASCAR. How'd that kind of come about doing the NASCAR event one year?
So that was a bit out of the blue. So that was in 2018 when we had the LMP2 car in IMSA. So we went from the PC class to it was when all the prototypes were combined. So there was no DPI or P2. It was just prototype. So yeah, so it was awesome. We got to step up with the Orica into the top class, and basically we had a crash at Watkins Glen that we had. So it was back-to-back weekends. It was Watkins Glen and Mosport the weekend after. So it was a whole big thing. But basically, we tried to fix the car at the track, basically at Watkins to prep for Mosport, and then we ended up having another crash at Mosport in practice. And then we had like an insurance situation at the time, but because we didn't make the claim before repairing the car, it just caused a lot of problems. So the next event was going to be Road America in the P2 car, which was like, yeah, that was what I was looking forward to for a very, very long time. And we had to skip it. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. And then my other buddy, his name's Robert Alon. He was in the JDC P2 car, and he got pole in the P2 by like a 10th over Penske. I'm like, like we could have been, we definitely would have been in the front, I think. Yeah, because the Orica was really strong there against the DPIs. Yeah, so kind of like made a little announcement that I wasn't running IMSA, and then I got a message from Josh Billicky. He's like, hey, sorry you're not running an IMSA. Do you have any interest in doing NASCAR? I'm like, maybe. Give it a try. Like, why not? Got to get one home race in, right?
That's right. Yeah, got to do one at least once a year.
Yeah. So he's like, it's a 2-race program. It's for Mid Ohio the week before, and then Road America the week after. I'm like, I'm not sure about Mid Ohio, but I'll for sure
Road America.
I'll commit for that. See how it goes. And yeah, it was interesting, man. Like the car handled pretty well, actually. It was fun to drive, but we had some like gearbox issues. I kept getting stuck in between gears. So I think I had like
that's probably pretty sketchy at Road America there.
Yeah, it's a bit sketchy. So I didn't even know, maybe 5 or 6 laps of practice, and then straight to qualifying. Qualified okay. I was within a second of Josh. So I was pretty happy with that. And then made it to the race, and the brakes started getting a little spongy, and I called it on the radio, like, just save the brakes. I'm like, I'm I'm saving. This is as safe as they're gonna get. And then yeah, just had a massive brake failure to turn one, like pedal to the floor. Like either I go straight or I just start downshifting and see what happens. And then I went for option B and then kind of pitched it sideways and ended
It
up
was
in the
lucky it kind
gravel.
of got in the gravel trap right there because it could have been a whole lot worse, especially on the pavement right there.
Oh, I know.
Mhm.
I know. Could have been
'Cause
an up and over the wall situation.
oh yeah, 'cause I saw
But
Chandler Smith's wreck he had. Was it last year where the
Might
brakes? Year before, he lost the brakes and he put it in the wall right there to try and scrub off speed, and it ripped the whole side of the car off.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you always want to try to minimize the damage, and
It's,
the
right.
wall is usually not the best way to do it.
no, not usually.
Right. Which we know you're probably busy and everything, so we'll go ahead and get to our last question here. That way
Sure.
we can let you get back to your
Yeah, no worries, man.
where do you see your career going in the next 5 years down the road?
That is an excellent question. I mean, I like the last, let's see, probably 3 years, I kind of balanced like the driving a lot with the driver coaching. So, especially like 2 years ago, I was almost full-time driver coaching and not doing a lot of driving myself, just because those are the opportunities that presented themselves. But yeah, it's just a full-time push to try to find sponsorship to try to get back. Like the goal would be to be an IMSA again, an LMP2, at least in like an endurance driving role. But unfortunately, there's no way to guarantee anything. There's no guarantees.
Right.
It's super competitive to get seats. So I'm pushing 100% to try to make it happen, but no guarantee. So ideally, that's where I'd like to be in 5 years, like an endurance championship in IMSA, um, finding some way to get back at Le Mans, but also like keep growing the coaching side of it. Like I've had a really good time working with
Right.
And
drivers and
coaching can really help make you a better driver too in the long run too.
exactly,
We
exactly.
talked to Dylan Murray I get earlier
Our
this
first,
year. Yeah,
yeah,
that
our
was our
first
first that
interview.
was our first interview,
Oh,
and
nice.
he's a driver coach, and so we asked him
Yeah, he
that
does a
same
lot.
question. And he's gotten lucky, he networks a lot of it, and he's always at the race, and has been fortunate enough, and he got to run Indy this year with
Yeah,
the AF Corsa team.
exactly, exactly. So those are like from my experience the last couple of years, those are the opportunities that tend to actually happen. Like you meet
Okay.
networking and meeting the people that, hey, I'm gonna run this program. Do you have any interest in being a co-driver? Like, yes, I do. Yes, I did. Certainly will. So yeah, it's a tough balance, just trying to find the sponsorships or and networking. But I feel like the coaching, yeah, that
It
usually ends
helps
up
keep
working
your
pretty
foot in the
well.
door, and it keeps you sharp too.
Yeah, exactly. Like let's say like a lot of the coaching days, there's responsibilities to like go to a data lab. So you hop in a car you've never been in,
Been
random tires, random everything, and you're expected to just kind of figure it out right away. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know the number of different cars I've driven the last 2 years, but it's a big one. And you just have to figure it out. You have like 2 or 3 laps, like
Absolutely.
go figure it out.
Right.
So yeah, it really exposes you to like a good variety of cars, stuff that I never would have driven and really good people. So yeah, trying to keep growing both sides of it and
But
hopefully end up
and that's the cool part
back in the
about it.
grid.
You never know who you don't meet or what you can get in.
Exactly.
You never know
Exactly.
what meeting someone down the road can lead to.
That's the plan. That's the plan. So
And
and then also so actually speaking of just down the road. So I'm in so wait, what part of Florida are you guys in?
we live in Georgia.
Georgia? Okay, so you're just north. Alrighty.
Right
Um
near Savannah.
okay. Yeah, that's an awesome track.
Oh yeah,
But have you heard of the track that just went up in Tampa? It's called the Motor Enclave. It's like a big like car owner garage
I
kind
think
of
I've heard of
situation.
motor.
I think I
Yeah, I
have
think
a
I've heard
little
of
bit.
Yeah. It's pretty new.
that.
But that is like just down the road from where I'm at. So the
Okay.
plan is
Okay.
to start helping out there and getting to kind of do the same thing, do some coaching and meet some people.
That's kind of like one of our ones we've done. Jade Buford, he lives up in Nashville, and they just opened Flat Rock up,
Oh
and
yeah.
he sends us pictures and videos all the time of different stuff going on up there.
Yeah. How's it look so far?
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks.
It's a really nice
Yeah.
track. It'd be one I would love to go. I think that's one that probably in the next few years you probably could start seeing some, maybe like GT America or something probably pretty soon there. Maybe even HSR or something.
Yeah, that's their goal,
It's
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a definite really nice facility. It's got to start out small. I think they're doing a lot of like test and tune stuff and maybe different track day things, but it's a really nice looking track. It's one that I'm quite interested to see what it's able to do.
It's on the bucket list, that's for sure.
Mhm.
All right. We sure thank you, James.
Yeah, we thank you. It was a
Of
lot of fun
course.
getting to do it.
Heck yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, we hope
Appreciate you
maybe
reaching
see
out.
you. You'll be at Daytona probably or this year.
I'll definitely be there. Let's say, just bring your helmet just in case.
Yeah, that's
You know,
right.
it worked once, so yeah,
Might
I'll
work.
try it
It
again.
might second time.
Yeah, and they got I think the Ignite, so they have like go-kart races during the weekend.
Mhm.
So I think I might sign up for some kart racing at the very
You
least.
might sign up for that too.
I
We go.
We got a little
Sounds
experience.
interesting.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's
That'd
go.
be awesome.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
We
All right.
appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you guys.
And best luck
See
to
ya.
you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.